Hi there, I'm Rachel Withers, and today I'm with the legendary Jack Canfield, co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Jack has devoted his life to helping others achieve their potential and create lives of meaning and fulfillment. Jack, thank you so much for taking the time out today to talk with me. Thank you.
My pleasure, Rachel. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm just super excited to be spending just some time with you and just listening to what you're going to share with us. So, Jack, what I'd like to start with is you talk about adopting the right mindset and how it is critical for success in life. I talk to people every day who have great ideas and big goals, but they don't believe in their own ability to succeed. They say things like, who am I to become a life coach? Or someone else is already doing what I want to do. So my question for you, Jack, is what are some of your favorite techniques for changing or improving one's mindset?
Well, first of all, you have to get people to realize that mindset is important. So that's just a conceptual talking about that, helping people, maybe assigning them some reading about mindset. Books like we have the fixed mindset, growth mindset, the importance of mindset, Carol Dweck, and so forth. I also think to literally have them look at, well, what are the thoughts that you think? And how are those thoughts? Are they either helping you or are they stopping you? And to become aware. Most people are not aware of the thoughts that they think. And so literally meditation can be very valuable for that because you have to sit there and watch your thoughts. And that can be a very painful process sometimes, but at least it brings awareness. You can also have other people feed back to you what the thoughts that you say out loud. For example, I do an exercise in my trainings, and I teach coaches to do this, to have people start a group of sentences with, I can't. I can't find time to answer my mail. I can't become a coach, blah, blah, blah. Then you go back and say, I won't, instead of I can't. And you repeat that over and over. And then you look at what is the difference between how you felt when you said I won't instead of I can't. And they say, well, I felt more powerful, felt more honest, it felt more true. And so what happens is that people begin to become aware of the power of their thoughts. I think also giving people affirmations to use is really important. So it begins to show them by repetition, this is so different than the thoughts I normally think. So to begin to see the difference between their positive thoughts and their negative thoughts. And I think that the idea too is to really help people discover what are your limiting beliefs. And there's a lot of work on that. I assign reading, I assign TED Talks that people can watch too. So I'm a big believer not in just me being the imparter of information, but also using all the technology that now exists. And having them, finally, I would have them write down at the end of the day all the negative thoughts they've thought, get it out on paper so it becomes more neutral when you can see it on paper.
Right, because I was going to discuss with you, and I wanted to discuss meditation because I know it really is so wonderful for our mental and our physical health. And you touched upon some of the tips for meditation there.
Yeah, meditation. Most people, they don't do it because they think they're going to have to sit for an hour and just be silent and watch their thoughts. And if they've ever tried to meditate, their mind doesn't sit down. They think of all the things they have to do. And so I teach people, start small. You can start with 3 minutes of meditation or 5 minutes of meditation, maybe 3 times a day, start with 3 minutes. Focus just on your breathing. Everyone can do that. It's not that complicated. You don't have to sit on a pillow and your legs in a pretzel position. You can sit in a chair like I'm sitting right now, turn the phone off. And I tell people to do it at the same time every day. Like if you're going to do it at 7 in the morning for 5 minutes, start them. What people find is after a while that 5 minutes extends into 10. They start to experience the enjoyment of it and the relaxation of it and the calm of it. And also I find when I'm teaching people to begin with is to have a guided meditation, something on a CD or on your phone where someone is guiding you. It's much easier when you're being guided than if you're just sitting there wondering if you're doing it right. Having a teacher or a coach, someone you can share your experience with, because quite often we have experiences we don't quite understand. Thoughts come up, images, memories, feelings, and so forth. So if you have someone that can help you with that, that's very valuable and important as well. And finally, just to share the research. There is so much research on the value and the importance of meditation and success stories. The title for Chicken Soup for the Soul came from a meditation. And that's made literally, tens of millions of dollars for me simply because I was meditating and this hand came out and wrote chicken soup on a chalkboard. And I started dialoguing with this hand in my meditation. And out of that came a title that's worth, now over $100 million.
Yeah, absolutely. And developing that meditation and the technique. And I also, you mentioned positive affirmations. I like to meditate and then work at the same time at the beginning of my day, creating some positive affirmations so that I'm really setting myself up for the day. Is that something that you would recommend to the listeners to do?
Yeah, I recommend what I call the hour of power, which is 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of reading something uplifting, and 20 minutes of exercise, and ending your meditation with visualization and affirmation. So you have an affirmation where you affirm either positive things about yourself. I'm smart enough to do everything I want. I have all the skills I need to create my goals. And also then having results affirmations, like, I'm happily enjoying a $100,000 a year lifestyle. I'm happily walking down the aisle with my soulmate, so that you're having an affirmation for your goals. And research seems to show that repetition is the key. And so my wife's now doing a course where every one of her affirmations, she has to say 21 times a day. And she's finding that really powerful. If you look at the Christians, they had prayer beads forever, the rosary beads. The Indians in India have these mala beads. There's usually 108 beads. And so you repeat the same affirmation 108 times. And then you get to that one bead at the end, it tells you, or the cross you've gotten at the end. So repetition being the key, and we've known that for thousands of years. So I also recommend people put their recommendations on their mirror, on their refrigerator, as a screensaver in their cell phone. So it's constantly top of mind, because you have to overcome thousands of times that you've thought the opposite negative thoughts about yourself or about success, and that requires repetition. And I recommend people do it first thing in the morning and also at night before you go to bed.
Our beliefs, our self-belief is so important that it is aligned with our goals, our dreams, and our aspirations. Is there any techniques that we can use to really help create that self-belief and develop that self-confidence? We've discussed affirmations. Is there anything else that we can do?
Well, I think affirmations are important. Visualizing yourself being successful. In other words, basically, self-confidence comes from an experience of surviving a risk. So when I risk asking someone out for a date, when I risk speaking in front of a group, when I risk enrolling someone in my company or registering a new person for my seminars, whatever it might be, it's a risk. When I survive it, either I get a yes or I got a no and nothing bad happened, then I have more confidence that I can do it in the future. One thing we know is that the brain cannot tell the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined event, so that you can actually do that in your mind. Imagine calling someone up, them saying yes, going out and giving a speech, getting a standing ovation, whatever it might be, such that if you do that 50, 60 times in your imagination, it's like you've done it 50, 60 times in your real life. And then, of course, taking small risks in your life. We always tell people, don't start with the scariest person, start with the safest person, survive that, keep adding, making it more and more complicated, more and more difficult and challenging. But as you do that, you're going to be building that confidence up. So that's important as well. And then finally, going back to affirmations, just having that statement, I am a successful person. I'm someone who people like. I'm a person who can achieve my goals. I am easily attracting wealth. Those kind of things are important as well. And finally, I think doing limiting belief work, which is actually kind of almost a guided visualization hypnosis work, where you take people back to when they established these limiting beliefs, usually between the ages of 3 and 8 years old, helping them see how they did that, how that stopped them, what's the new belief they could replace it with, and then bringing them back into the future, and then embodying that, and then what I want to say, encoding that into the subconscious mind through affirmations and visualization.
And when you talked about visualization, I notice, and I say my clients, I say they need to really have that in the moment, be saying it in the moment, that I am, rather than actually having it in the future. Could you explain the reasoning for that?
Well, the subconscious mind takes everything as a command that comes after the words I am. If you say I'm fat, your subconscious mind goes, oh, you're fat? Well, make sure you stay fat, So, and also you want to basically create something in the brain called structural tension, which means when you say, I am enjoying my vacation in Hawaii, when you're actually in the UK, then what happens is your brain goes, wait a second, we're in the UK. But you keep repeating and affirming and visualizing being in Hawaii. Now that structural tension, that cognitive dissonance says, we've got to get rid of this tension. How do we do that? We either have to give up the dream, or we have to get her to Hawaii. And so as long as you keep repeating the affirmation and the visualization, the brain starts to figure out how to get you to Hawaii so it can relax itself and go back to a state of homeostasis. So that's how advertisers get us to buy cars and do all that kind of stuff. Imagine yourself behind the wheels of Mercedes. You do that long enough, you want one. Well, we can do that for ourselves for things that we want rather than what the advertisers are trying to sell us. So that visualization is very powerful. And the words I am are very powerful. And you always want to be affirming it in the present tense, not like I am going to be wealthy, I am going to be a bestseller, but I am a bestseller. And that's what sets that up and makes it work.
Thank you, Jack. So just some wonderful, wonderful strategies and techniques there. I would like to finish with goal setting. Too many people, they really sail through their life with no set goals or plans of where they want to be in 5 or say 10 years time. And then one day they turn around and they wonder what has happened to their goals and their dreams for the future. Can you just share a few goal setting tips for creating, well, an extraordinary life?
Well, anything you want, you should set it as a goal. It needs to be specific in time and space. So how much by when? If you say, I would like to be rich, that's not a goal because it's not specific. How much money do you need in order to feel rich? Like I want to, I am a millionaire. I have $30 million in, assets, whatever it might be. Something that's measurable by a third person. So if you say, I want to lose weight, I don't know what that means. But if you say, I will weigh, 61 kilos by this date, then I can show up on that date. You stand on the scale, you either weigh 61 kilos or less or you don't. And so the reality is that the importance of that is that it's measurable. The subconscious mind doesn't know what to do. If you say, I want to live on the ocean, it doesn't know which ocean, by when, should it go east, should it go west, whatever. So basically very, very specific goals. And then you want to affirm those goals like we talked about with affirmations and visualization. Publish your goals. One of the things I've noticed, if you put your goals out there, people will start holding you accountable to them. And I listed my 101 goals that I wanted to achieve before I died. And people would start calling me saying, hey, I can get you into that show. I can help you sell 1 million books in China. I can get you to the Country Music Awards. Hey, you said you want to meet Kenny Rogers. He's a friend of mine. I can help you do that. So putting your goals out there is a really powerful thing. And then if one of your goals is to lose weight and people see you eating a chocolate eclair, they go, wait a second, I thought you wanted to lose weight. So they're also holding you accountable. And finally, I would say, have an accountability partner where you check in every week and ask, how are you doing on your goals? Are you making progress? And finally, chunk your goals down into sub-goals. So if this is my 5-year goal, here's my 1-year goal, my monthly goal, and then my weekly goal, my daily goal, et cetera. And that'll help you get to where you want to go.
Thank you, Jack. I could spend all day chatting with you, but I do know you've got a packed diary. So thank you so much. You have given us some really incredible and actionable tools that we can implement right away. So thank you, Jack Canfield. It has been an absolute honor speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Well, my pleasure, Rachel. Thank you for having me.